Violence is down in Columbia, but the police department says black-on-black crime is at an all-time high. Good evening. I'm Michael Dowdman.
And I'm Amber Smith. People in the community marched in downtown Columbia today to express their concern while raising awareness. KMUH Shale Raymond walked beside these marchers today and has more on the march. Glenn Cobbin says he hopes to create unity by planning another event coming soon.
It looks like warm spring weather is finally here, but will it stick around? Let's send it over to Sydney Jackson for a look at the forecast. Thanks, Sydney. Earlier this afternoon, dozens of Columbia residents shaved their heads to raise money for Baldrick's Foundation for Pediatric Cancer Research. More children die from cancer than all other diseases combined. This is the 5th year that the Missouri School of Medicine hosted the event. One volunteer says shaving his heads is just a small way to help raise awareness.
It is a very prominent disease, and actually it's still the #1 disease killer of kids. So there's a lot of work to be done.
We will let you know if they reach their goal on KMUH News at 10. Nearly 1,200 residents participated in the 19th annual Clean Up Columbia Volunteer Day. Columbia residents hiked through parks and along trails in an effort to make their city cleaner. The day of volunteering attracted residents of all ages to do their part. This is the 5th year Boy Scout Cole has participated in the cleanup, and he says his favorite part of Cleanup Day is being outdoors.
We seeing nature and seeing how nature has evolved around this park and see what people have treated it like.
More than 100 organizations participated in today's cleanup and spruced up streams and streets across town.
Police arrested 2 people this morning for forgery in Moberly. During a search warrant, police found a fake bill, equipment to make counterfeit money, and methamphetamine. Officers arrested 19-year-old Benjamin Gorham and 32-year-old Lena Kalinowski during the search. Prosecutors charged the pair with possession of a controlled substance and possession of forging instrument. Their bond is set at $45,000. The cost of drugs in Missouri is increasing, and experts say that's likely going to continue. The higher cost is due to pricey specialty drugs and the increasing cost of generic medications. From 2010 to 2014, drug prices for the state's Medicaid program rose about 30% to more than $1 billion. Missouri's top Medicaid official says the unpredictability of future specialty drugs and other costs will make budgeting for pharmacy costs difficult.
We use computers for almost everything these days, from looking at kitten pictures to filing our taxes. But all of those features require programming. Mizzou's Computer Science Honor Society is looking to create the next generation of computer programmers through a hands-on workshop. Students raced against each other to finish a coding worksheet for some cool tech. Associate Computer Science Professor Dale Mercer says making sure people care about computers is the key.
We're looking at potentially hundreds of thousands of unfulfilled jobs if we don't have workers to fill them. So getting people interested in technology and computer science and information technology, as well as all of the STEM fields, is very, very important for our economy to make sure that we have an educated and ready workforce.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics says the computer science industry has added jobs the past few years.
We all know millennials have the reputation to be on their phones and other devices constantly. This week's Pew Research Center released their annual report on the use of technology.
And what they found is that 90% of teens go online daily, but the other results might surprise you. Earlier today, I looked into the numbers for myself to gain a little insight. We use our phones for pretty much everything, to talk on the phone, to text, to surf the web, and even to take some video. But what if I told you the type of apps that you use can tell us a lot about you? According to the Pew Research Center, almost 91% of teens use their phones to go online through different apps. Most teens are on multiple social media platforms, from Facebook to Instagram to Snapchat. But the survey found a class divide between apps. According to the report, Facebook is the most common app among all classes.
But the app Snapchat, along with Twitter, is twice as popular in families, making more than $75,000 a year.
The survey also found a gender gap, showing girls were much more likely to post on social media than their male counterparts. The survey found more than 2/3 of teens have smartphones, and those numbers are only going up.
Survivors are still picking up pieces after a deadly tornado ripped through Illinois.
And Capitol Hill was on lockdown this afternoon. What happened? That's coming up.
For tomorrow, we're not looking at it to be anything too severe. Thunderstorms are expected later on Sunday evening.
On Saturday, we can't keep this good weather going. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Cleanup continues tonight in Fairdale, Illinois after a deadly tornado destroyed the homes and killed 2 women.
NBC's Kevin Tibbles tells us why recovery could take months, if not years. Food and water.
A historic moment caught in Panama City could bring the U.S. closer to one of its former adversaries. Why the U.S. Capitol in Washington was in lockdown this afternoon after a gunman shot himself outside of the building. The Senate Sergeant at Arms reported around 2:30 this afternoon shots were fired on the west lawn of the Capitol. Later, a senior federal official told NBC it appears the shooting was a suicide. Authorities are trying to identify the gunman and are also investigating a suspicious package on the ground.
History was made today in Panama as President Obama and the Cuban President Raul Castro came face to face late last night. This was the first time in half a century that the two leaders have met for formal talks. NBC's Chris Jansing reports on the new milestone.
In your world news today, a court in Egypt sentenced to death the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood and 13 other members. The men were among the thousands detained after ousting former President Mohamed Morsi. The current Egyptian regime says the Brotherhood has been organizing protests against the government for the past few months. The sentences can be appealed, but the process could take years. Thousands of Orthodox Christians celebrated Easter's Holy Fire tonight at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. The church is the site where Christians believe Christ was crucified, buried, and resurrected. Believers say the flame you see on your screen appears the day before Easter. The flame is then taken on planes to Orthodox Christian communities around the world. Orthodox Christians celebrate Easter tomorrow.
It's a well-known fact that Missouri softball coach Aaron Earlywine is one of the most animated in the nation.
Next in sports, find out why he was so heated against Mississippi State. Across the UK, people are betting big money on when the next little prince or princess will come to life. The guessing game is stretched from the color of Kate's coat to potential names. Alice so far seems to be the favorite. Diana is number 4. But how about Princess Matilda or Prince Fred? Duchess Kate Middleton is set to give birth this month.
Now here's a look at what we're following on KOMU 8 News at 10. A community gathers in the name of a man shot down by police.
How the Charleston community said goodbye.